Let's talk about discounted cash flow, or DCF valuation. So by the end of this section, you will understand DCF and why it's important to valuing a company and how the entire process works. Okay, so let's assume you have $5 today, okay? And that's literally a $5 bill from Canada. How awesome is it that we have kids playing hockey on the back of our currency? Represent, love it. Okay, so that's $5 today, all right? And we have $5 in 10 years. And that's the other side of our $5 bill. And, God bless Leonard Nimoy, Spock, right? But he actually looked a lot like one of our former prime ministers. And so a lot of people, and you can Google this, it's pretty funny, have been drawing Spock on our money, right? Okay, cool. So this is worth $5 today. Okay, so what is Spock $5 worth today? Okay, what is that $5 bill in 10 years worth today? Okay, so let's try to find a valuation for Spock today. Okay, so Spock is worth $5 in 10 years, right? That $5 bill. So what's it worth today? Well, if we assume the interest rate is 7% over time, just accept it. And we can discount Spock into today's money. And the way you discount is you divide your dollar figure, $5 in this case, by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of the number of years you want to discount. So if we had $5 Spock given to us next year, the value of $5 Spock today would be $5 divided by 1 plus 7% to the power of 1. But because we want to get $5 Spock, I can't believe I'm saying this, but because we want to get $5 Spock in today's terms, 10 years from now today, we're going to discount him by 10 years, okay? So that's $5 divided by 1 plus 7 to the power of 10, okay? And that's discounting that money into today's terms. So discounting to today is a simple formula, right? So in this case, $5 Spock divided by 1 plus 7% interest to the power of 10, okay? So money in the future divided by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of time, the number of years, is how you discount to today, okay? It's pretty simple. All right, let's file that away. We'll ignore that for now, and let's build the rest of this, okay? So how much money do we put in our pocket every single year, right? Well, we know that net income minus money we spend on stuff is supposed to be what we put in our pocket every year, right? So the way it works with companies is net income minus money they spend investing in the company is how much money they put in their pocket every year, okay? Stay with me on this, okay? So net income minus factories and equipment, right? Stuff you spend on factories and equipment, right? Which is the same thing as saying net income minus capital expenditures, okay? Net income minus CapEx, same thing. Wait for it. So you take net income and you subtract non-cash stuff, and then you deduct what you invested in, like CapEx, okay? That's called operating cash flow. So remember that from the cash flow statement. Operating cash flow minus CapEx is free cash flow, okay? And so cash in our pocket each year equals operating cash flow, which is the first section of the cash flow statement, minus CapEx. Take the first section again of the cash flow statement, operating cash flow, minus CapEx, right? And that's going to give you cash flow. And for some reason, they actually call it free cash flow. All right, so operating cash flow is right here, right? Remember, we got that on the LinkedIn cash flow statement, right? And then you deduct CapEx, which is property or plant or equipment, right? Really understand finance. Don't memorize it. Understand it, and then you'll remember it. Okay, so operating cash flow minus CapEx. Okay, there you go. Operating cash flow minus CapEx, there it is. That equals free cash flow. Now you see why we put that at the bottom there. It's a simple calculation, okay? All right, let's stop ignoring the blue box, okay? So remember we discounted Spock from 10 years to today. Well, we got to do that with every single year of free cash flow for LinkedIn as well, okay? And that's how we find out the value of the company, right? So if you take the future cash that any company makes and discount it today, that's the value of the company, okay? So let's do it. Let's discount all those free cash flows to today. We'll discount that over the number of years in the future it is. Same with every single year, right? There you go. And this is basically just like the Spock example. There we go. We got our dollar amounts, okay? All right, just simplifying the math for you here. And you can always speed this up or slow it down in Udemy if you wanted to. All right, cool. Here's a better way to do it though. Now that you know how to discount free cash flow, I want to teach you a trick. This is awesome. In Excel, there's a formula called net present value. What's the present value of those future cash flows today? And you just type in Excel equals NPV, right? Open brackets, and Excel is awesome. It's going to say, what's the rate, right? You'll go and click on the rate, 7% or whatever it is. And then what you do is you hit comma, and it'll say, what cash flows? And you'll go and highlight all the cash flows, and then hit enter, and you've got discounted cash flow to today. How awesome is that? So if we take the net present value, right, and we put 7% there, right, and those are the cash flows right there, then we get the same answer. And that is cash flow.